They depict the problem of the Sudan and in a very succinct way on one page, and also we present possible solutions. I want to underline that this is not a multiple choice exam question where you say what do you want, A, B, C, D, or E? Choose one of them. No, they are not. They are not elective. They are not. Whatever model you choose, you got to struggle. You got to fight for it. And so, in Model 3 here, Model 3 is in existence, and it is in existence by force. If you want Model 2 or Model 1 or Model 5, you got to struggle for them. You got to fight for them. I say this because some Southerners, they say, we want Model 5, and then they sit back in their chairs and they wait for it to come. How will it come? Well, I have done my job of delineating the problem. This is the problem of the Sudan, and these are the possible solutions. Well, at this juncture, I want to go down the corridors of history to show that we, the Sudanese, are indeed a historical people, and that the new Sudan I showed there, has an anchor in history. An anchor in history. This is important, because if we cannot find an anchor in history, then the struggle at the end of the day is meaningless. I will present this anchor in terms of the present character of the Sudan, and as it connects with our historical roots. The Sudan is characterized by two diversities, contemporary and historical diversity, that goes back thousands of years, indeed to the dawn of man. By historical diversity, I mean that we did not just pop up as Sudanese from nowhere. We have been here, we have been there, and we are here. And the proof of it, of course, is that I'm standing in front of you here. It means I must have come from somewhere. When you look at the history of the Sudan, you can find it in all books. In the Bible, for example, the Bible is replete with references to Cush, to Ethiopia, and these are interchangeable names for what is now the geographical Sudan. In the ancient times, we had the kingdoms of Awad, the kingdom of Irtat, the kingdom of Maida, and the kingdom of Anu. Anu is believed by some historians to be the present Anuak or Anuak people that were believed by the ancient Egyptians to be the god of the Nile, that sat somewhere in the south at the source of the Nile, and that was giving water to Egypt. And as the Bible says, Egypt is the gift of the Nile. So it is the gift of Anu, or the Anuak tribe of southern Sudan. You come down the corridors of history to Christian Nubia, and the kingdoms of Marawi, of Makuria, of Alawa, of Soba. I was reading in Nairobi before I came here a book entitled 2,000 Years of Christianity in the Sudan. And I read that the first non-Jewish Christian, or the first Gentile Christian, was a Sudanese. You read it in the Acts of the Apostles as the Ethiopian eunuch. That Ethiopian eunuch has been researched and has been found out that he was an official in the court of the king of Marawi. Marawi is north of Khartoum. In 1821, It was the Turco-Egyptian Sudan, the spread of an occupation of the northern part of our country by Turco-Egyptian rule, down to the Mahadis estate in 1885 to 1998, down to the Anglo-Egyptian Sudan or Anglo-Egyptian condominium, 1998 to 1956, and then the modern independent Sudan from 1956 to the present. And then you have the NIF Sudan from 1989 to the present time. All this I call historical diversity, the impact on us today. If you look at our music, Sudanese music, you will find that it is very similar to Ethiopian and Somali music, to the music of the Horn of Africa. Is more similar to that music than to the music of Saudi Arabia, for example. Muhammad Wardi is very popular in Ethiopia and Somalia because of this affinity, this similarity of music, and there is definitely connection between us and the people of the Horn of Africa. As you can therefore see, we have a long history. Peoples and kingdoms have lived, thrived, and disappeared in the geographical area that constitutes the present modern Sudan. Yet the present and previous rulers of Khartoum present a false picture of our country as if the Sudan started with them. Of course, they argue this way so as to stake a claim to the Sudan, and they do this to the exclusion of others. Our contention in the SPLA is that the Sudan belongs to all the peoples that now inhabit the country. And its history, diversity, and richness is the common heritage of all the Sudanese people. The attempts have been made in the past to try to push some people out of the rails of history. And I'm not accepting this. That's why I want to anchor our movement and our struggle and the new Sudan, to anchor it deeply in our history. مثلا أنا بقول للعربي بتاعنا عربي بتاع الجنوب في حاجة اسمه مشكلة الجنوب. I want to excuse myself from those who do not speak this language, but certain things are better expressed in certain languages than others. قولوا مشكلة الجنوب. مشكلة الجنوب actually tries to derail you from your history. But what is مشكلة الجنوب? كان في زول جاء وقعد في رقبتي suppresses me down. ده مني أو مشكلة. ده زول القى بقعد في رقبتي ولا أنا اللي بقعد فوق ده أو مشكلة. See, as I said before, the problem must be correctly delineated. If you don't correctly delimit your problem, you will not be able to solve it. And if you solve it, it may be by luck. فقالوا زمن ده كله من سنة 47 قال في مشكلة الجنوب وحل مشكلة الجنوب. Now, in South Africa, what was the problem? It was the problem of apartheid. It was correctly defined as the problem of apartheid. It was not the problem of the Zulus in South Africa or of the various tribes that inhabit South Africa. It was not their problem. It was the problem of apartheid that was being solved during the colonial struggle in Africa. What was the problem? It was the problem of colonialism. It was not the problem of Mau Mau. Let us take Kenya, for example, country Mau Mau. Now I can see the British